Hey Jasper County, Michelle Agusty here with my friend Rodney Urbano.
Hello, everyone.
So we met in, I think it was 2019, down in Guatemala on a mission trip. And I just was able to see your incredible work ethic and just your servant's heart for helping this family we never met. And also you had the smoothest foundation I ever
Well, thank you,
seen too.
Michelle. That was in another country at another time, and here we are in 2023 trying to do a mission here and hopefully something to help the residents of Jasper County and create trails.
Right, right. Yeah, it is a mission here, so that's awesome. Um, yeah, and so since us working down there, I can't tell you how many times I've almost been hit by a car. And I remember you running the road for the World Vision Marathon. And so, yeah, your name was on my heart for like a month when, about this project and finally got the courage to call you. And yeah, that was like the best phone call I made. So I'm just so thankful that you're such a huge part of this team. And
Well, it's certainly an honor, Michelle, and I appreciate that phone call. When you did call and mentioned your goal of creating trails here in Jasper County, I was awestruck. I thought, wow, what an opportunity with my background in road building and paving. I thought I could really help this group and not really realizing some of the challenges that are in front of us, but excited to be a part of it. We've been together for what, a year now,
hmm
working on this mission and slowly but surely moving forward.
yeah, it's exciting. So when you were running the road for your half marathon, what was your comfort level?
Well, I started running. I've never been a runner, but when I started about 6 years ago, I did run the roads, local county roads here in DeMont and Wheatfield area. And quite honestly, I can't count the number of times on both of my hands I had to sort of jump off the road with a car coming right at me. And just that nervous feeling, or when you're running and two cars come at the same time, very uneasy feeling for a runner. I talked to many runners, and we all have experienced that very same thing. So yes,
Yeah.
a very unsettling feeling.
Yeah, and so that's really what we're trying to do here for all of you guys is that um, we see you out there, with bike riding and, the cars behind you or dodging traffic. So that would really be beneficial to all of us. And since you are a roads guy and you know that space, is it okay if I ask you some questions about our roads? I mean,
Yes, indeed.
um, like, what do you think about our roads now and the increased pedestrian traffic on them?
Well, yeah, exactly. Not just runners, but bicyclers and all sorts of people just walking their dogs and whatnot. You do see a lot of people out on the roads. If you're fortunate enough to live in a subdivision, it's not quite as bad. But when you get on some of the, 1,900, 1,100, those roads, traffic tends to move faster than what it should.
Right.
Sometimes the roads are a little bit on the narrow side, not leaving a lot of space. And, quite honestly, several years back, I was driving a plow truck on a bad night on a narrow road, and I actually had an incident where I hit a
Oh,
bicyclist
wow.
and couldn't see him and on a narrow road. So
Yeah.
it is dangerous, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also with them being narrow, it's that they were designed, as rural roads. I mean, like, I'm going back a ways here, but my road used to be gravel,
Hmm.
and now it's really not just rural; it's residential, and so we haven't had that designed into our, system, if you will, going from rural to residential, and we don't have the pedestrian option. So,
Very
yeah.
true. Very true. Our certainly our population and subdivisions are growing, and they're spotty. You have one here, and you have one there, and
Right.
there might be a mile in between. So people are out on those county roads
Mhm.
more and more. Yes.
Yeah. I wish they were just wider in general because really even for the farmers too, like their equipment is becoming more high tech and keeps getting bigger. And yeah, it's not getting less busy here. So that's why this is important. So why do you think we need to start planning for a trail now or more active transportation options?
One of the things that really excites me about trails is just I have three children, grown children, and two of them live in Indianapolis. One of them's in South Bend. They've left the area, and I think to myself, what are ways to bring my kids back? I would love to see my kids in this community, so I can spend time with my soon-to-come grandchildren, right?
Yeah,
And to me, we need to offer amenities to attract young people, right?
yeah,
And I've been a part of this community since '93. This is my home. I love it here.
yeah,
Now my focus is on what can I do to keep young people here, and I think trails are a huge thing. I've taken my daughters a number of times. We put our bicycles in the back of the truck and we go up to Crown Point or we go up to Porter, or we ride along the lakeshore, we ride the Lackawanna
mm-hmm,
up there in Crown Point. And these are things we enjoy doing together. And,
right.
quality time with your children and just to see your grandchildren, to me, this is a home run. This will bring people to our county. People will trails get utilized. It's a big thing.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's awesome for families and just bringing people together. Like that's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you literally paved the way for some of these trails before.
We've been
Like
fortunate. We've worked on the North Judson
Erie
Erie
Trail.
Trail, yep, and some of the ideas behind them are wonderful. They incorporate a lot of safety issues with they put barricades on the county roads where vehicles can't just pull up on them. I've seen them where they put horse trails
Mm-hmm.
alongside the trail. And some of them are on old railroad bed, which is nice, but regardless, they're sort of not in the prime time. They're sort of in the country setting, if you will, nature, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
From a paver standpoint, we love that kind of setting. They're just off into the wild
Right.
and not all the traffic.
Right.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
they're very exciting, and they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
We see them a lot.
Yeah.
Locally in town, we have parks that have trails, and that's a wonderful thing. But the idea of connecting our communities it just is huge. And I'm not just talking the north end of the county. I'm talking connecting the whole county.
Yeah.
I would love to see a biking trail between Rensselaer and DeMont down to Remington. And there's interesting spots in between. You have a huge dairy farm, dairy adventure.
Yes.
We could incorporate into it historical sites, different schools. I mean, even some of these graveyards are
Yeah.
pretty amazing if to see history and see our county to its fullest. So,
Mm-hmm.
connecting people, connecting communities. I think what an opportunity.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm so glad you said that because like our in-town park loops are really nice, but for us long distance people and the whole connecting communities, that's awesome. So you really hit the nail on the head with our goals and our vision for Jasper County Trails Club of
Yes.
we want this to not just be DeMott and Wheatfield. I know that we talked that, phase one and, it is the two closest areas, but our ultimate dream is for this to connect all the communities of Jasper County. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
out to the dairy would be a really nice ride. What an awesome pit stop. Like bathroom, ice cream cone, whatever,
Yeah, well, we're in it for the exercise, but a
Right.
little bit of enjoyment along the way. But
Yeah.
I've had the distinct pleasure to live in Rensselaer for a dozen years, and now I've been in the DeMont area for the last 15 years. So I have a lot of friends in both communities, and I can't think of a better way to connect
Yes.
to the county.
It would be awesome. And I know there's like a whole like bicycling club in Rensselaer, and it would just be so cool that we could all come together, and I would love that too. Yeah.
Indeed. And the fact that, we found this study that was conducted 12 years ago, this is not a brand new idea, right?
Right.
It's so important, I think, again, to keep our county whole, to connect, to keep our youth in the county. And it's been around for a while, so I really hope we can pick up some energy here, get some people to
Yeah.
join our cause, and really see the importance of putting these trails together. I think it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And, I know you referred to a lot of them being on abandoned railways. So that is something we don't have the luxury of. So it has been looked at. We've been looking at it. So, what do you think is our biggest challenge in making this happen here?
Well, certainly the biggest challenge I think is the routes where we're
Yeah.
going to go and how we're going to get there. Easements is along ditches would be a wonderful route. We're going to need cooperation between the landowners, mainly farmers, I would say, the county, and so far I've felt very welcome in the meetings we've attended through county officials. Everybody seems to. It seems like everybody we bring the idea up to really loves the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So now it's putting the pieces together, drawing that route, and so it is an uphill battle, but I think with some help with the right folks, we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome and encouraging, and it is so cool that our county is excited about it. Like, this is not just us, this is all of you, everybody, our whole county in making this happen. And it's kind of fun that we can all do this together,
Yeah.
however
Yeah.
anyone wants to help. Yeah.
You bet. And, going and visiting with some of the other clubs, and I know you have done it a lot, there's so much unity within those groups that have already done this that you see that, and it makes you certainly want to be a part of it. And to have that legacy for our grandchildren and their
Right.
children and so on,
Right.
I think these trails will be utilized for a long, long time.
Yeah, it matters now, but it also matters 20 years from now, 50 years from now. Like, long after we're gone, having this infrastructure in place would be just awesome. So,
My first ever encounter about trails was about 20 years ago. I was doing work in the town of Kentland, and the mayor, which it's a town, there is no mayor, but they called him the mayor, Chuck Lehman. He was so excited one day. I was in his office. He says, "Rodney," he says, "you know how we're going to get people to Kentland?" And I'm like, "No, Chuck, I don't." He says, he throws this magazine on the ground. Rails to trails. People will come to our community if we build trails. And he was so ahead of his time. I mean, 20 years ago, and he's talking this, and wow.
Yeah.
And now you look at it, and he's right. It is
Yeah.
definitely a great amenity for a community to have. You bet.
yeah, yeah, for sure. What has been your favorite part of being involved in this project?
Well, I think the best part is our group. We know we're up against a very difficult challenge, but faithfully everybody's showing up. We're learning as we go. We're getting other people, commissioners, people on the drainage board, the economic development organization, that are giving us input. They're wanting to see us succeed. Everybody we've talked to has been a big advocate of this
Yeah.
idea, so
Yeah.
so that's exciting. It really is, and working with you, Michelle, has been awesome. You're a great leader, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you so much, and thanks for all you're doing for this project, Rodney, and all the other things you do in the community. So,
Well, thank you, Michelle. In Jasper County, let's keep on exploring.